For generations, people believed that digging the garden was one of the most important steps in growing food. Every spring, the same process repeats. The soil is turned over with a shovel or a tiller. Large clumps are broken apart. The ground is flipped and mixed so it looks soft and loose on the surface. To many gardeners, this feels like the right way to prepare soil. A freshly tilled garden bed looks clean and ready for planting. But over the last several decades, many experienced growers have started discovering something surprising. Constantly digging soil can actually damage the very system that makes plants grow well. Beneath the surface of healthy soil is an entire living ecosystem. Billions of microorganisms, fungi, insects, and worms are constantly working underground. These organisms create tunnels that allow air and water to move through the soil. They break down organic matter and release nutrients that plants can absorb. But when soil is heavily dug or tilled, that underground system gets disrupted. Delicate fungal networks are broken apart. Soil layers are mixed unnaturally. Moisture escapes more quickly. In the short term, the soil may look loose and fluffy, but over time it often becomes harder, more compacted, and less fertile. This is why many gardeners notice something frustrating. The more they dig their soil every year, the more they seem to need fertilizers, compost, and constant effort to keep the garden productive. Meanwhile, if you walk through a forest, something interesting becomes obvious. No one digs the soil there. And yet forests produce enormous amounts of plant growth year after year. Leaves fall. Organic matter builds up on the surface. Worms and microbes slowly incorporate that material into the soil. The system improves itself naturally. Many modern gardeners have begun copying this natural process in what's called no-dig gardening. Instead of constantly disturbing the soil, they protect it and allow the underground ecosystem to rebuild itself. Over time, the soil becomes softer, richer, and easier to plant in without heavy work. When most people look at soil, they see dirt, but healthy soil is not just dirt. It's one of the most complex living systems on Earth. Inside a single handful of good garden soil, there can be billions of microorganisms. Bacteria, fungi, microscopic insects, and earthworms all live and work together beneath the surface. Each of these organisms has a role. Some break down dead plant material, others release nutrients that plants can absorb. Certain fungi create underground networks that connect plant roots, helping them exchange nutrients and even communicate stress signals. Together, these organisms form a hidden ecosystem that constantly improves the soil. But this system depends on stability. Most soil life organizes itself in layers. Different microbes prefer different depths, temperatures, and moisture levels. Fungi grow long networks through the soil, sometimes stretching for several feet. When soil is heavily dug or tilled, those systems are disrupted. Imagine spending months building a network of tunnels underground, only to have everything turned upside down by a shovel. That's essentially what happens to the soil ecosystem when the ground is repeatedly disturbed. The fungal networks break apart. Microbial colonies get exposed to sunlight and dry air. Soil structure collapses. At first, the soil may appear softer because digging introduces air into it, but this effect is temporary. Without the natural networks that hold soil together, the ground slowly settles and becomes compacted again, sometimes even harder than before. This is why many gardeners feel stuck in a cycle. They dig the soil every year because it becomes compacted. But it becomes compacted partly because it was dug in the first place. No-dig gardening breaks that cycle. Instead of trying to force the soil into a perfect structure every spring, the goal is to allow natural soil organisms to rebuild the structure themselves. When soil is left mostly undisturbed, something interesting happens. Earthworms begin creating tunnels that aerate the soil naturally. Fungal networks expand and help plant roots access nutrients more efficiently. Organic matter slowly accumulates on the surface and feeds microbial life below. Over time, this creates a soil structure that is far more stable than anything produced by digging. Instead of collapsing after each rainstorm, the soil holds together like a sponge. It absorbs water easily and stores moisture for longer periods. And perhaps most surprisingly, planting actually becomes easier. Gardeners who switch to no-dig systems often discover that after a few seasons, their soil becomes so loose and healthy that they can plant seedlings simply by pushing them into the ground with their hands. No shovel required. Another major benefit appears during hot weather. Because no-dig gardens keep organic matter on the surface, the soil stays shaded and protected. This reduces evaporation and helps maintain consistent moisture levels for plants. Weeds also become easier to manage. When soil is tilled, buried weed seeds are constantly brought to the surface where they can germinate. But in a no-dig garden, most weed seeds remain buried and inactive. The result is often fewer weeds over time. But many gardeners still hesitate to try no-dig gardening for one simple reason. They wonder how to actually start. If you already have hard, compacted soil, how do you create a productive garden bed without digging everything up first? One of the biggest misconceptions about no-dig gardening is that it only works if you already have perfect soil. Many people imagine that their ground is too compacted, too weedy, or too poor for this method to work. So they assume digging is the only way to fix it, but the truth is that no-dig gardening is actually designed for difficult soil. Instead of trying to break up the ground with tools, the goal is to build a healthy soil system from the top down. Over time, earthworms, microbes, and natural decomposition do the work that gardeners normally try to do with shovels and tillers. The process is surprisingly simple. The first step is choosing the area where you want your garden bed. It could be part of your backyard, an old patch of lawn, or even ground that has never been cultivated before. Once you've chosen the spot, resist the urge to dig. Instead, start by covering the surface of the soil with a layer of cardboard or thick newspaper. This layer acts as a barrier that blocks sunlight from reaching weeds and grass underneath. Without sunlight, most of those plants slowly die back. At the same time, the cardboard begins breaking down as it absorbs moisture from the soil and rain. Worms and microbes gradually pull the material into the ground, turning it into organic matter. After placing the cardboard, the next step is adding organic material on top. This could be compost, well-rotted manure, leaf mold, or a mixture of different natural materials. Spread a thick layer over the cardboard, usually around 4 to 6 inches deep. This layer becomes the new planting surface. Seeds and seedlings can be planted directly into this top layer, while the soil underneath continues improving slowly. As rain falls and plants grow, nutrients begin moving downward into the soil below. Worms pull organic matter into their tunnels, mixing the layers naturally. Within a few months, the cardboard barrier begins disappearing as it decomposes. Meanwhile, the weeds that once grew in that area have already been suppressed. Another important step in no-dig gardening is protecting the soil surface. After planting, it helps to add a layer of mulch, such as straw, leaves, or wood chips. This mulch protects the soil from sunlight, reduces evaporation, and prevents new weeds from establishing themselves. Over time, the mulch also breaks down and feeds the soil ecosystem. Each season adds another thin layer of organic material. The soil slowly becomes darker, softer, and more fertile. And unlike traditional digging methods, this process improves the soil structure instead of breaking it apart each year. Many gardeners are surprised by how quickly this transformation begins. Within 1 or 2 seasons, areas that were once compacted or difficult to work often become loose enough to plant by hand. But the real magic of a no-dig garden appears after several years, because every season adds more organic matter to the surface. The soil gradually becomes richer without needing large amounts of fertilizer or outside inputs. Once a no-dig garden is established, the most surprising thing many gardeners notice is how little work it takes to maintain. Traditional gardens often require constant soil preparation. Every season starts with digging, turning, and mixing the soil again. But in a no-dig system, the soil is treated more like a living surface that needs protection rather than disturbance. The most important habit in maintaining a no-dig garden is very simple. Always keep the soil covered. Bare soil is one of the fastest ways to lose moisture and fertility. Sunlight dries it out, heavy rain washes nutrients away, and weed seeds quickly move in to take advantage of the open space. But when soil is protected with organic material, the conditions change dramatically. Mulch acts like a protective blanket over the soil. It keeps temperature stable, reduces evaporation, and slowly feeds soil organisms as it breaks down. In many no-dig gardens, mulch becomes the main tool used to improve the soil. Every few months, a fresh layer of organic material is added to the surface. This could be compost, straw, leaves, grass clippings, or other natural materials that will eventually decompose. As this layer breaks down, worms pull it into the soil and microorganisms begin converting it into nutrients plants can use. Instead of digging nutrients into the soil, the system feeds itself from the top down. Another benefit of this surface feeding method is that soil structure remains intact. Earthworms continue expanding their tunnel networks. Fungal threads grow undisturbed beneath the surface. These natural systems create pathways that allow water and air to move easily through the soil. Over time, the soil becomes softer and more sponge-like. This improves water retention dramatically. In many no-dig gardens, plants actually need less watering than in traditional beds because the soil holds moisture much longer. Weeds also become easier to manage because the soil isn't being turned over every year. Buried weed seeds remain deep underground where they can't germinate, and the mulch layer blocks sunlight from reaching many new seeds that land on the surface. When weeds do appear, they are often easier to remove because the soil underneath is loose and rich. In many cases, a simple pull removes them completely. Another helpful habit in no-dig gardening is leaving plant roots in the soil after harvest. Instead of pulling plants out completely, many gardeners cut the stems at ground level. The roots remain underground where they slowly decompose. As those roots break down, they create tiny channels that improve soil aeration and feed soil organisms. Over time, this process adds even more organic matter beneath the surface. The result is a garden bed that slowly becomes deeper, darker, and richer each year. But perhaps the most satisfying part of maintaining a no-dig garden is what happens after a few seasons. Because the soil ecosystem becomes so active, the garden begins doing much of the work on its own. Worms mix organic matter into the soil. Microbes release nutrients for plants. Fungal networks help roots access water and minerals more efficiently. Instead of constantly fixing problems, the gardener simply supports a system that is already working. After a few seasons of using the no-dig method, many gardeners begin noticing something surprising. The garden starts getting easier instead of harder. In traditional gardens, soil often becomes more difficult to manage over time. Each year it needs to be dug again. Each year it seems to demand more compost, more fertilizer, and more effort just to keep plants growing well. But when soil is left mostly undisturbed, the opposite tends to happen. The underground ecosystem begins rebuilding itself. Earthworms multiply and create networks of tunnels that naturally aerate the soil. Fungi spread beneath the surface and form connections with plant roots, helping them absorb nutrients more efficiently. Microorganisms break down organic matter and slowly release the minerals plants need to grow. Instead of relying on constant outside inputs, the soil begins functioning more like a natural system, and that's when gardeners often notice the biggest change. Planting becomes easier. In many no-dig gardens, the soil eventually becomes so soft and rich that tools are barely needed. Seedlings can often be planted with just a small hand trowel, or sometimes even by hand. The soil feels loose and crumbly instead of hard and compacted. Water also behaves differently. Because organic matter continues building up on the surface, the soil begins acting like a sponge. Rainwater soaks in more easily and stays available to plant roots longer. This means plants can often survive dry periods much better than they would in heavily tilled soil. Weed pressure often decreases as well. When soil isn't constantly disturbed, buried weed seeds remain inactive underground. And the mulch layer blocks many new seeds from getting the sunlight they need to germinate. Instead of fighting weeds constantly, gardeners often find themselves dealing with fewer of them each year. But perhaps the most important benefit of no-dig gardening isn't just convenience, it's resilience. Gardens built on healthy soil systems tend to recover faster from stress. Heavy rain, heat waves, and dry periods become easier for plants to handle because the soil beneath them is stable and alive. This is one of the key ideas behind low-input living. Instead of forcing the land to produce through constant effort, you design systems that improve themselves over time. The more the soil ecosystem develops, the less work the gardener needs to do. Organic matter feeds microbes. Microbes feed plants. Plants feed the soil again when they die back. It becomes a natural cycle. And once that cycle is established, the garden stops feeling like a constant project. Instead, it becomes a living system that quietly grows stronger every year, producing food with less digging, less effort, and far fewer inputs than most people ever expect.